Very good afternoon, dear students. We last class discussed about the properties of determinants. Yesterday class we are discussing first four properties. Today class we are discussing about remaining four properties. See the fifth property. What is the condition? If each element of any row, if each element of any row or any column of determinant is the sum of two terms, means for example a1 plus x1, b1 plus y1, c1 plus z1, a2, b2, c2, a3, b3, c3. Means if each element of any row or any column can be the sum of two terms. So I am writing each element of any row or any column determinant is the sum of two terms. So I am writing first one, I am writing sum of two terms. This determinant can be expressed as sum of two determinants. So this determinant how to express it as sum of two terms means what is the first term here? A1. What is the first term here? B1. What is the first term here? C1. This one can be written as first term is A1, B1, C1. Next A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3. Plus after what is the second term here? X1. So X1, Y1, Z1. Second row and third row is as it is B2, C2, A3, B3, C3. This determinant can be written as delta 1. This determinant can be written as delta 2. Delta 1 is nothing but some determinant value. This is some determinant value. After that we should add those values. So what is the property 5 is if each element of any row or any column determine the sum of two terms. See after in this one, first row all the three terms are sum of two terms. Then the determinant can be expressed as sum of two determinants. This is the fifth property condition. This is the fifth property condition. Whenever like this will be there, that one expressed as sum of two determinants. First term A1, B1, C1. Second row and third row we should write as it is. Plus second term X1, Y1, Z1. Second row, third row we should write as these are condition for the fifth property. I think everyone understanding. If each element of any row, so we can take a row wise or column wise. Suppose column wise will be there. Column wise A1 plus X1, A2, A3, B1 plus Y1, B2, B3, C1 plus Z1, C2, C3. Like will be there. This determinant can be expressed as sum of two terms. First terms A1, B1, C1. Two comes right as it is A2, A3, B2, B3, C2, C3. Plus of the right second terms X1, Y1, Z1, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3. After the final determinant we get some delta 1 value, some delta 2 value. This is the condition for the fifth property. We should write each element of any row or any column of determinant is the sum of two terms. Sum of two terms. Then the determinant can be expressed as sum of two determinants. This is a condition for the fifth property. I think everyone understanding the fifth property. So next we are explaining sixth property. See the sixth property here, friends. So see the sixth property here, friends. Sixth property is if each element of a row is multiplied by a scalar. Means each element of any row or any column multiplied by a scalar. After that add it to the corresponding element of any other row or other column means if each element of a row or column is multiplied by a scalar, add it to the corresponding element of any other row or other column, then the value of determinant is unaltered. So the example, delta 1 is equal to a1, a2, a3, b1, b2, b3, c1, c2, c3. So delta 2. Now according to property, each element of a row or a column is multiplied by a scalar. That scalar added to the corresponding any element of the any other rows or column, then the value of determinant is altered. So delta 2 I am taking a1 plus k into x1, a2 plus k into y1, a3 plus k into z1. Next b1, b2, b3. Next c1, c2, c3. So according to sixth property, according to sixth property, if each element of a row or column is multiplied by a scalar element, you add it to the corresponding element. So don't take x1, you can take here b1, here b2, here b3. Means if each element of a row or a column is multiplied by means second row multiplied by a scalar element. Your wish, that is, you can take first row or second row or third row, any row is multiplied by a scalar. That's why I am second row multiplied by a scalar element. That scalar element added to the corresponding element. So now if each element of a row or column multiplied by a scalar added to the corresponding elements any other row or any other columns, then the value of determinant is unaltered, is equal to, now this is a property 5. What is the property 5? If each element of a row or column determinant is sum of the two terms, then the determinant can be expressed as sum of two terms. Here by using property 5, because of if each element of any row or any column, the determinant is sum of two terms. Is there, then the determinant can be written as sum of two determinants. That's why first term you should write a1, b1, c1. Next a2, b2, c2. Next a3, b3, c3 plus k second terms kb1, kb2, kb3. Next b1, b2, b3, c1, c2, c3. Observation says each element of any row or any column multiplied by scalar element, then the determinant can be expressed as k times of the given determinant. That is fourth property. Here by using fourth property. So what is the fourth property? If each element of any row or any column multiplied by scalar element, then the determinant can be expressed as k times of the given determinant. So this determinant can be as it is a1, a2, a3, b1, b2, b3, c1, c2, c3. So now k times of the given matrix is b1, b2, b3, b1, b2, b3, c1, c2, c3. Observe in this one, From third property, whenever two rows or two columns are identical or same will be there, then the determinant will be 0. Here, first row and second row, both two rows are identical or same will be there, that value will be 0. So now this total value will be 0. This determinant value sum taking delta 1 plus k into whenever two rows or two columns are identical, then the determinant value will be 0 here by using third property. So is equal to delta 1. This is a condition for the sixth property. First I am taking example delta 1 is equal to a1, a2, a3, b1, b2, b3, c1, c2, c3. According to property 6, what is the given? If each element of a row or column is multiplied by scalar element, means if each element of any row or any column multiplied by scalar element, that's why second row multiplied by scalar element is k, kb1, kb2, kb3. After that, what is the condition? Add it to the corresponding element of any other. So second row multiplied by the scalar element, then add it to the corresponding element of any other row or any other columns. Here k scalar element multiplied with the second row is a1, a2, a3, kb1, kb2, kb3, c1, c2, c3. After that, add it to the corresponding element. Add it means sum of the elements of the any other row or any column. So what I am doing here, I am change r1 changes to r1 plus r2. Means first row r1 changes r1 plus r2. That's why a1 plus kb1, a2 plus kb2 plus a3 plus kb3. So in the two rows we write as it is. Okay. After that, then the value of the determinant is unaltered. Finally, this is by using the three properties. Finally, we get the sum determinant value. This is a condition for the sixth property. So, understand, dear students, if each element of a row or column multiplied by scalar, add it to the corresponding element of other row or other column, then the value of the determinant is unaltered. Second row multiplied by a scalar element, add it to the corresponding elements other any row or any column, then the value of the determinant is unaltered. This is a condition for the sixth property. So next we are explaining seventh property. See the seventh property, dear students. See the dear students, seventh property conditions. If all the elements in a row or column of a determinant are zeros, we can take any row or any columns, all the elements will be 0, we can take, then the value of the determinant is 0. Then the value of the determinant is 0. What is the given condition? If all the elements in a row or in a column of a determinant values, we can take 0. For example, means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0, 0, 0. So this is a determinant for the example is seventh property, because of if all elements here, this all the elements in a row of a determinant values are zeros, then the value of the determinant value will be 0. You can take row wise or column wise, each element will be 0, then the value of the determinant is 0. So this condition satisfied or not? See the solution. When you 3 by 3 matrix, you can take plus, minus, plus. When you are first time dividing that particular row, that particular column is eliminated. So 1. So I am taking directly values. Cross multiplication you can do 5 into 0, 0. Minus 6 into 0, 0. Next, minus 2. Minus 2. So 2 you are taking that particular row, that particular column is eliminated. Left of the elements are 4, 6. 0, 0, after that we should apply cross multiplication method. 4 into 0, 0, minus 6 into 0, 0, plus 3. So 3 we are taking that particular row, that particular column is eliminated. Left of the elements are 4, 5, 0, 0. Cross multiplication to 4 into 0 0 minus 5 into 0 0. So everything value will be 0 whenever if all the elements in a row or in a column is the determinant values are zeros, then the value of the determinant is 0. So there are two conditions there. One condition is third property, when your two rows or two columns are identical is there, then the value of the determinant is 0. Or if all the elements in a row or column of a determinant are zeros, means any row or any columns all the values are zeros is there, the value of the determinant is also should be 0. That is the condition for the second property. Everyone understood? I am taking third, all values are zeros, then the value of the determinant will be 0. That is condition for the seventh property. I think everyone understanding the seventh property. Next we are going to last property, eighth property. See the eighth property here, friends. So dear friends, see the eighth property. If all the elements any one side or both side of the principal diagonal elements are zeros, if all the elements any one side or both side of the principal diagonal elements are 0, then the value of the determinant is equal to the product of the elements in the principal diagonal. First we are taking all the elements any one side or both the side principal diagonal elements are zeros. First example I am taking A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, 0, 0, C3. This one also 0. Now, so diagonal side. So now diagonal side I am taking one side zeros. Then the value of the determinant is equal to the product of the elements in the principal diagonals. These are principal diagonals elements. Finally, we get the answer is A1 into B2 C3. A1 B2 C3 value if you want. So we will getting or not, check it. Plus minus plus is equal to. So first I am taking A1. So A1 into first row first column is eliminated after cross multiplication. B2 C3 minus 0. Next minus B1. We get 0 minus 0 plus C1. We get 0 minus 0. Finally, we got answer is A1 B2 C3. For example, according to eighth property, all the elements any one side or both the side, any one side or both the side of the principal diagonal elements are zeros. I am taking principal diagonal elements are zeros, taking one side. Then the value of the determinant is equal to the product of the elements in the principal diagonals. So now product with the principal diagonal elements. What is the principal diagonal elements here? A1 B2 C. Product is three terms. A1 into B2 into C3. Finally you got answer. A1 into B2 into C3. This is the solution. Whenever any one side or both the side diagonal elements are zeros will be there, we should product with the principal diagonal elements. So this is the condition from the input. See the second example. Example 2. A1 I am taking two sides are diagonal elements are zeros. B1, A2, B2, 0, 0, C2. This one also 0. Dear friends, if all the elements, both the side principal diagonal elements we are taking zeros, then the value of the determinant is equal to the product of the elements in the principal diagonal elements. Whenever both the same principal diagonal elements are zeros will be there, then should product with all the elements in the principal diagonal elements. What is the principal diagonal elements? A1 into B2 into C2. That is the answer. Or else we can by by apply normal condition plus minus plus. So A1 into product with this one, B2 into C2 minus 0. B2 C2 minus 0 minus 0 into 0 minus 0 plus 0 into 0 minus 0. We get answer is A1 B2 C2. So if all the elements any one side or both the side the principal diagonal elements are zeros, then the value of the determinant is equal to the product of all the elements in the principal diagonal, and this is the condition for the eighth property. See the one more example. Example 3. Here I am taking down one more. I am taking A1 0 0 0, B1 C1, and anything B3 B2 C2 and A2 is equal to, here all the elements any one side the principal diagonal elements are zeros, then the value of the determinant is equal to the product of the all the elements in principal diagonal elements. We get definitely A1 to C1 into A2. We get our, I can check it, plus minus plus A1 into C1 A2 minus 0 plus minus 0 into 0 minus 0 plus 0 into 0 minus 0. We get A1 C2 A2 product with the finally principal diagonal elements A1 into C1 into A2. This is the required solution for in this property 8. So all the elements any one side or both the side. Here also we taking one side of principal diagonal elements are zeros. Here also we are taking one side of the principal diagonal elements are zeros. Here two side principal diagonal elements are zeros. If all the elements any one side or both the side principal diagonal elements are zeros. Principal diagonal elements are zeros, then the value of the determinant is equal to the product of the elements in the principal diagonals. We are product with the principal diagonal element. This is all the example for the eighth property. This is the eighth property. I think everyone understanding the eighth property, everyone would use practice on understanding those 8 properties. Tomorrow we are discussing how by using this 8 property how to solve the determinant values. Thank you everyone.